Barrow renews pledge to stronger China-Gambia relation as he opens a multi-million-dollar center. Banks in Zimbabwe are being forced to cut down workforce thanks to financial hardships. The party of former President Yahya Jammeh says it will hold mass protests despite lack of police permit. This and more coming on The World Today. Hello there. It is 17:32 GMT here in our studios in Banjul. You are watching The World Today on Africa TV. My name is Amadou Kante, and now the news in detail. The Gambia Red Cross Society on Tuesday handed over $2 million to the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare as scholarship packages for students at the community health nursing schools in Massaconco. The offer covers the fees of 40 nursing students in addition to the refurbishment of the community health school in the Lower River region. Gambia Red Cross Society says its intervention is supporting the quality of health service as well as build closer ties with government of the Gambia. Lisa Singate has more details in this report.
The Gambia Red Cross Society has presented a check for $2.2 million to the Ministry of Health. A sponsorship package for 45 community health nursing students enrolled at the Community Health Nurse School in Mansaconcong, Lower River Region, and the renovation of the school facilities. The presentation was held at a press briefing at Ngala Lodge in Fajara. The Red Cross is a humanitarian-based organization that was enacted by an Act of Parliament in 1966 to prevent and alleviate human suffering wherever it may be found. It is one of the oldest and biggest humanitarian organizations in the Gambia. President of the Red Cross Society, Jato Silla, explained that they are implementing a lot of projects and hope their fruitful cooperation with partners will continue. He said Red Cross is more than emergency response organization that many people would consider, saying that they are always willing to reach out to the last door to provide humanitarian assistance where needed.
We are telling the Gambian people, Red Cross has the highest human resources in the country. And Red Cross is willing to go to the last door to help. Red Cross is willing, when it is hard, to come out through its volunteers. So all Gambians must really appreciate this and appreciate our volunteers. Therefore, we appreciate the National Assembly for your push. We still need more avenues with the programs that we are having.
The press briefing was convened to welcome the Secretary General of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent, Alaji Senghor, who is in the country for a 2-day working visit. During his stay, Senghor is expected to sign a status agreement with the government of the Gambia through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Secretary General of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent, Alaji Senghor, said the check presented to the Ministry of Health is for the sponsorship of 45 community health nursing students enrolled at the Community Health Nurse School in Mansaconcong. Lisa Singate for iAfrica News.
From that report there done by Lisa Singate on the Red Cross support on students, we move on to talk on Gambia-China relations, because in an effort to cement stronger ties between Banjul and Beijing, President Adama Barrow pledged government continued support and commitment in favor of the One China policy. He was speaking in response to a $50 million conference center project from the Chinese in support of Gambia's dream to host the 2022 OIC summit. More funding from China is expected to manifest in the infrastructural development of the small West African partner. Julden Jai has more details of that in this report.
Gambia's President Adama Barrow has reiterated government's commitment to supporting the One China policy during the inauguration of the multi-billion-dollar International Conference Center. The state-of-the-art facility is the first in a series of projects commissioned to complement government's preparedness to host the summit of the Organization of Islamic Conference.
Evidently, The People's Republic of China is one of our strongest partners. With them, we will continue to explore new frontiers, ranging from cultural exchanges to trade and investment expansion through a South-South cooperation framework. Bilaterally, my government will continue to work with the Chinese government and remain supportive of the One China policy.
The One China policy asserts that there is only one sovereign state under China, and this rules out the double nomenclature as the People's Republic of China and the Republic of China in the Asian continent. In return, China rolled out a number of infrastructural projects for the Gambia, including the $80 million road and bridges in the Upper River region, and that of the broadband network project, says the Chinese ambassador to the Gambia, Ma Jingsheng.
We are willing to strengthen cooperation with the Gambia in the fields of infrastructure construction and others, strengthen the connection between each country's development agenda, and explore the implementation of relevant projects. At the same time, we will continue to deepen the bilateral cooperation in capacity building and invite more Gambia friends to pursue degree and participate in short-term training programs in China, as to promote social and economic development of the Gambia.
The One China policy can be traced back to 1949 and the end of the Chinese Civil War, with China and Taiwan claiming representation of China. For iAfrica News, I am Julden Yai.
President Barrow, of course, they are renewing commitment to further close the ties between Gambia and China. Thank you, Julde. From that report, we move on to Guinea, where one person has been killed in the country during a protest against President Alpha Condé, who is working on to extend his constitutional mandate as president. The National Front for the Defense of the Constitution is likely behind the mass uprising against the president's bid to lengthen his stay. Several people have reportedly died since mid-October. Details of that in this report.
One person was reportedly killed during protests against Guinean President Alpha Condé in Conakry on Monday. Scuffles reportedly broke out between protesters and police in the Guinean capital, leading to the death of a 21-year-old student, Alhaji Mamadou Sow. Monday's protest was reportedly called by the National Front for the Defense of the Constitution movement. Guinea has been swept by anti-government protests since October amid concerns over Condé's bid to adopt a reformed constitution, which may allow him to secure a third term in power. Binta Sise reporting for iAfrica.
From that report there done by Binta Sise, we will now take a break and come back shortly with the remaining of our stories. Stay with us.
Hi, my name is Ami Sahna, founder and owner of Her Apparel, a mother's clothing brand. Top Startup has been one of the best things that ever happened to my life, if not the best.
My name is Modula Ahmed Fati, founder, farm manager, ML Poultry. Before Top Startup 2018, this used to be my poultry house with about 200 chickens. And today, ML Poultry has just built a new farm with a production capacity of up to 4,000 chickens.
I'm Ivo Lawrence Mendy. I'm the CEO and the founder of Cameco. The Top Startup, we're able to register the company in Ghana as a limited, let's Ride Africa Ghana Limited.
I urge every single young entrepreneur out there to give it a try. It's a life-changing experience.
Welcome back. You are watching The World Today on iAfrica TV, and now to the rest of our stories. 32 staffs from Food Safety and Quality Authority signed a petition last year requesting for the firing of their Director General due to corruption and mismanagement. The senior management team promised to investigate the merit of the accusation, but this is what staff are no longer waiting for. The concerned group of the authority told journalists earlier today that they have become subject of the circumstance. Details of that in this report.
32 staff of Food Safety and Quality Authority Wednesday morning held a press conference on a petition that they filed against their Director General Zainab Jallow for what they called bad leadership. Held at the authority's premises in Kotu, the staff expressed dissatisfaction about the leadership, which they said is strongly highlighted in the petition letter. Food Safety and Quality Authority is established by the Food Safety and Quality Act 2011 under the Office of the Vice President. It is the sole national competent authority with powers of delegation mandated to officially control the safety and quality of all foods and animal feeds, whether locally produced, imported, or destined for export. Sedina Aliu Jaju, Human Resources and Administration Officer, said the authority currently has less than 45 staffs, excluding drivers and cleaners, out of which 32 signed the petition. He said both established a commission to investigate the matter after the release of the petition, but the outcome of the investigation is yet to be known by them. He said they now feel that board is compromising with the issue.
It is true, she travels a lot. We are all here within authorities, and when she is around, we are fully aware of it. When she's not, we are also fully aware of it. And I will advise you to liaise with the accounts department for the evidences. Your other part of the question was, and how does that affect us? Yes, of course it affects us. As we speak now, in this authority, the staff at the Food Control Directorate don't have computers to work with. The money used on travel, on per diem, can be used to purchase laptops, can be used to purchase gadgets. Though I'm not a food inspector, but I believe their major achievement they have is only a thermometer, which examines the temperature. And food safety as an authority should supersede that stage. We need laboratories, advanced one. And the staff should also be trained on how to control these achievements in the 21st century.
Mr. Jaju said over the years, series of employees have resigned or were terminated due to personal grievance and or administrative differences, nepotism, corruption, and abuse of office, which he said are the trend at FSQA. He said promotion in Food Safety Quality Authority is based on nepotism, as keeping a good relationship with the Director General means likely to be promoted and not based on efficiency and productivity. He said 22 out of the 32 staffs that signed the petition are issued with administrative leave without salary due to their solidarity to fight corruption and weak leadership tactics in the office. Ma Gomez, one of the food inspectors, said $400,000 was mismanaged by the Director General, while staff on postings lack computers and proper office to work, and staff training is yet to be done. She said for over 3 years she have been working at the seaport without an office and computer, and yet she has to write weekly reports.
Like I said, we at the seaport, for instance, we are required to submit every week or weekly reports. And at the end of every quarter, we generate about 1.2 to 1.8 or sometimes $2 million in every quarter. That is 3 months, every 3 months. And we are required to submit a weekly report. Can you believe if I tell you, since I was there in 2017, we've not been given even a single laptop to be writing our reports. Our current office, we share it with 4 other institutions.
The authority's Director General, Zainab Jallow, had told iAfrica that the petition was written since last October, arguing that they did not petition her because she was not served with a copy. She said those who are leveling her leadership are inspection staff, saying that have submitted their petition to the Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, Office of the Vice President, and other offices. Since then, the FSQA board have set up an independent investigation into the matter, and the investigation report found them wanting, and the board is asked to come up with recommendations, she said. Binta Sise reporting for iAfrica.
Many thanks there, Binta Sise, for the report. And from her report, we head to Zimbabwe and talk matters of technology and banking, because the evolution of technology has begun to reap work in the Zimbabwean bank of their hard-earned jobs. It is projected that more than 10% of the workforce will be cut in 2020 as a result of prevailing economic difficulties in the country. The last quarter of 2019 saw the country printing additional banknotes to arrest the shortage of cash in circulations. Details of that in this report.
A shrinking formal sector has whittled down the bankable population. At the same time, operating costs have been escalating, piling pressure on financial institutions. This, even before we talk about cash shortages, which have accelerated the need for rationalization.
Even if I was an executive of a bank and I'm looking at the cost of having 9 bank tellers versus, just having 2 or just digitizing my process, it's much more efficient. The audit trail is better. So many things are better when you're doing things using that ICT space.
About 300 employees out of an estimated 4,000-strong banking sector workforce were laid off in 2019 under labor laws that allow employers to dismiss workers on notice and only pay them 2 weeks' wages for every year they've served. With more job losses forecast, those engaged in some of the routine work are being urged to adapt in order to remain relevant in the new order.
There is some advisory work that will still be needed. The banks will still be very relevant, where you actually have to visit and talk to someone the way we are talking now and say, I want to invest in this particular industry. What will be your advice? The person will need to take that kind of information, prepare some research report and give you particular advice.
If I was a bank teller right now, I'd be looking for some sort of an ICT course, data analysis, something along those lines, because as we digitize, a lot more of those skills are going to be required, and they're not presently here. Globally, they think that there are going to be 30 million jobs that are going to be wiped out, 30 million traditional jobs that are going to be wiped out, but an additional 70 million are going to be created, centering in the ICT space.
That means the relentless march towards automation isn't all doom and gloom, especially for those who are willing to embrace it.
From that report in Zimbabwe, we come back home and talk matters of the party of the former president, because the Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction has said that it will go ahead with its plan to hold mass protests on Thursday, calling for the return of exiled former President Yahya Jammeh. Deputy spokesperson Dudu Jah made this disclosure during the Good Morning Africa program on Africa TV on Wednesday. The APRC is yet to receive police permit, but that seems to be not of relevance, as supporters are ready to take the street on its controversial protest agenda. Ami Fai has more details in this report.
Opposition Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction APRC party deputy spokesperson has told iAfrica TV Wednesday morning that they are ready to hold a peaceful demonstration tomorrow Thursday with or without a police permit. Dudu Jah said their demonstration will include demand for ex-President Yahya Jammeh's return to the country from exile in Equatorial Guinea, where he has been since he lost power in 2016 election. He said they have done all the necessary preparations needed in accordance with the law.
Wa li nga xamne loolu lañ nanguto di parti APRC moy genn mom dinañ genn parce que dañ gis ne lu waawa xam nañ ko wa ñu ngi xaar tam li nga xamne moy office of the IGP li nekk sen tontu.
Mr. Jah pointed out that they are not only calling for Jammeh's return to the country, but to remind Gambia government, the United Nations, African Union and ECOWAS about the agreement they had with him before he left the country. He said Mr. Jammeh was promised that his properties will be taken care of whilst he is away, but said they have seen those properties being auctioned.
Pour fatelil ñi nga xamne ñoo doxon tank yoy be liko fi jëlé nanguto buñ amone pour ñu saxal ko. Si sahal nanguto bobu bokana ci moy pour mu delu ci waye delu ci bi du lo rek bokana ci dañ waxone du jaay alelam te gis nañ ne jaay nañ fi ay alelam jaay nañ fi ay bagasam be jamono juñ nekk ni kan lañ ko jaay lan lañ jaay ñaata lañ ko jaayee mënuñ la cee wax dara kon yii ak yeneen mbir yu ci bokka moo tax ñu génn ne ñi nga xam ne ñoo doxoon loolu di AU UN ak ECOWAS ñoom la ñoo binda pour fàttali leen charta yi dox ba àgga ci ñoom ñu jox leen ko pour fàttali leen gannaaw loolu ñun ñu jógee fa ñibbi kon loolu ci jàmm la yéenewuñ pour def fitna wala def leneen li nga xam ne mooy luy yëkkati fitna ci réew mi.
Gambia Center for Victims of Human Rights Violations, who want Jammeh to be arrested and prosecuted anytime he returns to the country, have this week expressed how worried and concerned they are regarding recent audio message of Jammeh in which he reaffirmed to his supporters and party militants of his return to the Gambia. Ex-President Jammeh is accused of mass killings, sexual abuse, disappearance without trace, and corruption during his 22-year rule of the Gambia. Reporting for iAfrica TV News, I am Ami Faye.
From that report by Ami Faye on the APRC planned protest tomorrow, we will now bring this news bulletin to an end. Thank you very much for the pleasure of your company. But for more on these and other stories, you can also log on our website on iAfrica.tv. Once again, I am Amadou Kante, and bye for now.